everybody, welcome to another edition of Wednesday here on Chrono Speakeasy. I am Paul, joined with Jay.
What's up?
Rob.
Hello.
And Will.
Howdy doodle dandy.
How is everybody doing this fine December evening?
I'm a panda.
You are a panda.
Yeah.
I'm a sleepy panda.
Oh man, tell me about it.
With a Red Sox hoodie.
This is like my last week of work before it dies for the last end of the year, and I have no work, which I'm actually super looking forward to.
Yeah, I would too.
I love summertime, no work.
Mm-hmm. Except
like,
it's even
yeah.
better. It's in December.
Well, like for me, when summertime, no work shows up, there's like, yeah, we all hate it when it gets really slow, and I'm just sitting there, I like watching. That was weird. Sorry. Watching anime on my phone. They just walk in like, oh, you got anything going on? And I'm like, no.
That's the wrong answer. You got to say yes.
Oh, that's what happened. My headphones just died.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it made audio noises. I'll fix that while you guys talk.
Chrono Speakeasy. We totally have our shit together.
Absolutely.
Quality electronics at Chrono Speakeasy.
So I really want to dive into to the first topic at hand, because I've been meaning to talk about this with you guys for so long, is the Batman versus Superman trailer. When we last talked, I think we got like that 50-second preview, but since the official trailer came out, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about what your initial thoughts are, because, man, I got a ton.
It was definitely not my favorite trailer that I've ever seen. There was actually a fan recut that came out after the trailer that actually got me excited for the movie again. But this trailer felt like it gave me the entire movie, and I walked away from it being like, I don't need to see Batman vs. Superman anymore.
Yeah, I think the trailer, it really confirmed how much I'm not looking forward to this movie. Rob, how about you? What were your thoughts when you saw it? I know you've been very faithfully supporting this movie.
Well, I think as a trailer, like as just a trailer, it's a terrible trailer. Like it does the one thing that I always hate is when what appears to be gives away the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like including like what could have been a major reveal / plot twist or whatever, the whole like doomsday thing. It basically gave away like Wonder Woman's reveal. Like
it did.
Which is super lame. Like that part of the movie would be amazing. Like just out of nowhere having Wonder Woman blocking that blast with her shield. That would have been awesome, but they put it in the stupid trailer.
You know, it makes you wonder if maybe like if it was on the verge of being leaked or something, and they're like, no, okay, we'll just damage control. If we just get it out there, we'll beat whoever was going to try to leak it.
It felt too intentional for that. Like this was you could tell that someone put a lot of time into this, and that it was done to really try to sell the audience that wants to know the story before they go in.
I think that's true. I think a lot of it was like, I feel like kind of Snyder going, oh man, this is going to look so cool. But man, when I saw... Sorry.
Who wants to know what like the trailer is or like what the movie is before it comes out? Because that was every major plot point for the most part.
Well, I think sources like Heroic Hollywood and like Latino Review, they're the ones who are always trying to, kind of, I don't know, I guess expose. They're trying to be ahead of the curve of the twist before. I don't know why. I just think they're just ruining it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the optimist in me wants to think that somehow this is all early enough in the film that it's not actually everything. But it feels like it would be a lot. So I feel like we've heard that it's clocking in at close to like, 2 hours, 40 minutes, 2 hours, 50 minutes. So it's a long movie. So if this is like maybe the first act and a half, and then we get to actually see a movie with the Trinity, the DC Holy Trinity actually duking it out beyond Doomsday, then I'm okay with it. But right now it feels like they gave everything away.
I would laugh if we got to Doomsday in the first 15 minutes. Like it's Superman and Batman fighting Wonder Woman, Doomsday, and then like and it's all in that 20, like that first like 20 minutes, and the rest
Honestly,
is all
though,
like,
that'd be badass. Imagine like that just being the cold open,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like Batman
then
and
the rest is
Superman
super
don't
friends.
know each other yet, and then they all just like end up at the same place, and then they all go their separate ways, and then the whole movie starts. That'd
Okay,
be kind of
super
sweet.
bad.
Which is it's not going to
So-
be what's happens.
What if, and just hear me out here, Doomsday gets introduced like a WWE superstar? Like he just jumps into the middle of fighting and all you hear is, "Here comes the Doom." Boom, 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 boom. That would be pretty rad.
I'd be
Given the
okay
Lex,
with it.
given the Lex Luthor we've been introduced to in this trailer, I probably wouldn't be surprised if he was like, I don't know, like, oh, and now in this corner, my latest invention.
Honestly, I
Yes.
didn't. I kind of liked that whole party scene because it showed that there's actually a sense of humor to the movie, even though the jokes were like super obvious jokes. But I think like they all acted well. Like I think Jesse Eisenberg played
Oh,
the
sure.
goofy kid well. I liked the whole like shaking his hand and he's like, "Oh wow, don't fight these two," and like wink, wink, nod, nod, and I was just like, "Oh, that's a dumb trailer joke."
I think Jesse Eisenberg, he would make a great arcade if they ever did like an 80s X-Men movie.
He would. But like I just
That's
think
all I could think of.
I'm happy that this trailer showed that there's potential for humor in this movie, which gets me excited.
Mm.
And I just
Yeah,
think as a
especially-
trailer, it's just they showed too much and it wasn't particularly well made. Zack Snyder's always made such good, cool looking trailers, and this one was just like,
yeah.
eh.
That's true. I mean, the trailers for like 300 and Watchmen, they've always
Yeah.
were like attention grabbing and kind of let you salivate.
The trailer for
from it.
300 is like blew people's minds. They're like, "What is this?" And that's why it became like the biggest movie ever that year.
Well, like
Yeah.
another thing too is that like the whole like Jesse Eisenberg seemed to have forced that role or that line kind of where it's just like, huh, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, who would have thunk them in the same room?
Yeah.
It's like it's a billionaire and a reporter. Of course, they're eventually going to meet.
Yeah, I love the exposition where he's like, where Clark Kent's like, "Who's that? Oh, you must be new guy. That's Bruce Wayne." And I was kind of, this is my view of Bruce Wayne, and I think I may have addressed this when we would discuss The Dark Knight. I always feel like, how can you not know who Bruce Wayne is? The dude's practically like Paris Hilton or like a Kim Kardashian. Like he's like this drunk
You made a sex
billionaire.
tape?
Probably. I wouldn't say he's that crazy, but he's
Dylan
definitely
Baines
like
paint.
I don't know. There's
But
no.
he's like always in like the tabloids.
He's kind of like a Richard Branson. Because
Yeah.
you know how he's always like there's pictures of him like windsurfing with like a naked model on his back and stuff. But he's also like a good person.
He could be Shia LaBeouf. He could be like the Shia LaBeouf of the DC universe, and that would be terrible.
That's true. Let's hope not. Let's hope for the Richard Branson.
I don't know.
That's
Shia LaBeouf of the DC universe would be pretty interesting too. Could
That's-
end up
that's-
being a villain.
That's Booster Gold, I feel like.
Fair.
I don't know, I'm just picturing Shia LaBeouf with like the Doomsday hooves coming out, being like, "Just do it." that's what I'm.
But like
picturing.
Doomsday really already?
I know,
Yeah.
dude. I was not anticipating Doomsday to be in this movie, and also, why does he look like a cave troll from the Fellowship of the Ring?
I thought you put it more accurately with him being a Ninja Turtle from Michael Bay's film.
Yeah.
He's like if Michelangelo and the cave troll had a baby,
But
that's
like
what this movie would be.
and it was either this week or last week's show or like one of the times we were talking about this movie, which seems to be every single week. But we were talking about how like they'll probably bring Doomsday or like Darkseid or something out for the Justice League movie, and nope. Although this movie's basically seems to be the Justice League movie because they also announced that Flash is going to be in it.
So you have Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. Yeah, it's
Yes,
Justice
it
League.
is a Justice League movie.
I mean, pretty much. I mean,
It's as much a Justice League movie as like Civil War is.
It's called Dawn of Justice.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I thought like at the end they were going to be like, "Oh, hey guys," and
Yeah.
not like 10 minutes into the movie, like, "Oh, hey, all the other characters."
No, so from that article that we were sharing around, Flash is only going to be in a very little bit of the movie, and I have
So-
no idea how much Aquaman's going to be there.
I really hope that like Flash just shows up at the very end right after they beat Doomsday and he's just like, wait, am I really too late for this?
It you know what, yeah, it might be a post credit scene where like it's like I don't know, like the Barry Allen like in his like laboratory, and there's all suddenly like a freak tidal wave and like a bolt of lightning and water come rushing through his lab, and there's Aquaman and Cyborg's plugged into the wall in the background. Like I don't know, just like some random like mash post credit.
I must say
scene.
though, that shot of Wonder Woman is fucking badass.
Oh, when she puts Heather from the shield,
Yeah,
that was
Like-
pretty cool.
she looks awesome.
I have to say,
I kind of disagree.
Really? I thought she looked like
Well-
badass.
I like the sword and shield. I like the costume design and everything like that, but she just doesn't look like she herself is a powerful woman.
I disagree.
Let's wait till she punches something, because in Jessica Jones, well, Kristen Ritter doesn't exactly look wicked strong, but she still kicked a lot of ass.
That's kind of the point.
yeah, Wonder Woman is Amazonian. She should look like she should put Jay through a wall.
Yeah, like kind of have like be somewhat more in shape, like actually have some biceps.
I always
She's got
honestly,
skinny ass arms.
honestly, my favorite Wonder Woman comics was when she was like drawn taller than Clark Kent. I like
Right?
love that, and she's like, and like her like biceps have a six pack. It's awesome.
But see, the problem
Like-
with that is those
unrealistic.
actresses don't exist.
Right, but
that no,
I mean,
they're
like-
out there, but producers don't want to like cash in on.
Well,
know,
the thing with Wonder Woman is that she's pretty tall and strong. Like those are three things. You can probably get a tall, strong woman who's like, she's not Wonder Woman's
But
prettier.
you're missing also probably the major modifier, which so that actress probably exists, but can she act well?
That is also true.
right.
you don't know if this model can act well either.
True.
So, in all fairness,
But I
why
trust
not get an actor instead of a model?
I trust Zack Snyder.
I don't.
Oh yeah, I don't either. I'm sorry. Will.
Honestly, his casting though has never been bad.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, dude. The Ozymandias and Watchmen, that dude killed me. That
But
I wept.
Jackie Earl Hurley as Rorschach is amazing.
Oh, that was perfect.
I
I'm-
thought
he did a good
almost
job.
all of the casting in Watchmen was perfect. The comedian was the comedian. Like that dude.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a boss.
I'm not saying he can't cast. I'm just saying like for
He's not
me it
always
hasn't
so.
always been that. Yeah, it hasn't always been out of the park. But you know what I wanted to bring up that was really growing on me is the Batman costume. The more I think about it, the more that this might be my favorite cinematic Batman costume. I think that's saying a lot because I love the other Batman movies. But I think that because this one I feel like really personifies the comic bookiness of it.
Yeah, it looks very like Jim Lee Batman.
Yeah. I think a mix of Jim Lee and the Frank Miller Batman. Like I like how you can see like the folds in the fabric that actually looks like fabric and not like body armor.
Yeah,
Um,
or just straight spandex like some of the older stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm actually, I mean, for me, the verdict is still out on Affleck, but I'm really digging the costume. Actually, I think so far the DC costumes so far have been pretty good.
Yeah, and I still hope the movie's good, but this trailer made me nervous that they're gonna kind of fall into the Spider-Man 3 trap in the second movie
Oh yeah.
of just having too much stuff going on.
Well, listen, if Doomsday splits his face and it's Topher Grace underneath, I'm gonna be bullshit.
I'd be really confused, but also at that point, I'd just be like, all right, whatever, I'm in. Let's do
Well,
this.
one of the parts I didn't like too was the like when Doomsday shows up, shoots his face laser, and then it's just Wonder Woman shows up. I like that she showed up and it hit the shield. That was pretty cool looking. But I hate that it was just like, hey, she with you? I thought she was with you.
I thought that was funny in like a dumb comic booky way.
That brings up another point too. Why does Batman sound auto-tuned?
Because he's in his robot suit.
Yo, he likes T-Pain.
T-Pain's cool.
Yeah. He's in love with a stripper.
When he's in a robot suit, even though his mouth is uncovered, of course he has to talk like a robot. That's just real life, Paul.
Honestly,
But he wasn't in a robot
if
suit, right?
I
in that
was-
scene,
Yeah.
was he?
if I was dressed up as Batman, I don't think I could talk in my normal, horribly unmanly voice. I would have to do something.
And so I listened to it a few times, and there's one quote where it's showing the regular suit with the robot voice, but it very clearly feels like a voiceover from the different part of the movie.
Which is very
And-
possible because it's a trailer.
Yeah. And then there was another, and then that bit at the end, it's just sounded deep. I didn't think it was as robotic as the other parts.
But it still sounded robotic. Maybe not as, which I can get. He would have a voice modifier because that would make sense as Batman.
I mean, I'm not saying it sounds like, I don't know, like here comes Wonder Woman fighting Doomsday. It just sounded like it was.
It's overly modulated, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a Wayne Tech thing.
I just
don't
don't. I just don't think it's going to be as permeated in the movie as they're making it seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think the trailer's dumb. I think having Doomsday in this movie is dumb. But I hope it's good. I always hope it's good.
I'm gonna
I
see.
know. Oh yeah.
Upon rewatching the trailer, like the first time I watched the trailer, I was just like, "This is shit. All of this is shit." But then when I rewatched, I was like, "All right, half of this is actually kind of interesting."
So go.
But it's
go,
like
go
until the
watch
Doomsday.
Go watch the fan-made trailer based off of this trailer because it's infinitely better and it will get you hyped again.
I wasn't hyped in the
Yeah.
first place.
It'll make you hype then.
Probably not.
No.
And just as a disclaimer, I mean, like we do love DC Comics, and we
I
do
don't.
have a lot of hope. We okay. Well, me, myself, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Will and Rob are going to join me. That we like DC Comics. We have a lot. We have a lot of faith and believe that they have some potential. It's just I think we're just a little lukewarm after the whole Man of Steel thing. But I do want to move on to Marvel because they did announce this week too that Scott Buck is going to be the new showrunner for the Netflix series for Iron Fist, and Scott Buck, he was a showrunner for Dexter, Will, right? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty exciting. I mean, it took Dexter about 6 seasons before I really stopped caring to watch it. And from what I understand from people who stuck with it, it continued to go downhill.
But 6 seasons of solid television.
Yeah,
Impressive. The first 4 seasons of Dexter are incredible.
They're great. So I'm pretty confident with this decision. And I think that him working with Jeff Loeb and Perlmutter, I think it's a great fit. I think he's really going to knock it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so far their success rate has been pretty great. Daredevil was awesome, and Jessica Jones, which we are now all joined in the fact that we've all watched it. We can finally discuss it. Jessica Jones was great. That being said, what do we all think of the Jessica Jones conclusion?
I really liked it. I thought it was like I love how he actually started to turn purple at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that.
And honestly, outside of the rape and killing, I really liked Kilgrave. Like, I was overlooking the fact that he raped and killed people all the time just because he made me laugh a lot.
I was going to say, I found myself feeling bad for him at points.
Same.
Which is exactly like what Kilgrave wanted, like the character. Like he was so good at playing off of people's emotions and like playing the victim. Like he would always try to like make Jessica like feel for him, like and manipulate her by showing the video of him as a kid and stuff. And there was points where like when she was like shocking him in there, I was like, oh, poor guy. And then I'd be like, wait, no, he's legitimately rape embodied in a human being.
Well, I think the great thing about Kilgrave is that, they had time to really flesh him out the same way that they allowed Wilson Fisk to be fleshed out in the Netflix series, which is the great thing about this because, I was thinking my 3 favorite villains, are Kilgrave, Fisk, and Loki. And I think the reasons why what they all have in common is they had time to develop their character and their motivation and how their motivation makes sense. You wouldn't have to agree with it, but I think that for all 3 of those guys, I felt a little sorry for him, and Rob, like you said, that footage of him getting tortured, like I don't know how that couldn't make anybody be like, "Oh, poor kid," It's
Yeah, but like I think another good. It's just he's such a shitty person, and let's just jump straight to the end because spoiler alert, she snaps his neck and kills him.
Pretty cool.
So he's done.
it was awesome.
And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. They killed him, but then I was just like, no, that dude needed to die. Like I couldn't watch another season of her being like, oh, gotta find Kilgrave. Oh, he made another bunch of innocent people slit their throats. It's just like it got hard for me to like keep watching. I think this show, I love the show, but I think the last half dragged on a little bit compared to the first half.
Yes,
I think
agree
it
with
could have
that.
been like 2 or 3 episodes shorter and just kind of tightened it up.
I think her supporting cast was dragging her down.
I think
Yeah,
some
this-
of the divorce stuff with the lawyer went on too long. I think the whole
Yeah.
weird McPoyle twins thing could have been
Yes.
completely left out.
Oh yeah, totally.
Not completely left out, but it was nice to have a side story with the ex-Red Power Ranger.
Yeah, I love Malcolm. Let me just say I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's the real hero.
I really loved Hogarth's side story with the whole divorce, and like you kind of see her, and I kind of almost think of her as like a mini Kilgrave, and I think Carrie Ann Moss killed that role because she was just manipulating everyone around her, and then she was left with nothing. And I thought that her story was real. Her story was authentic. You watched her like get broken kind of over and over again and go through something horrible and then get left with nothing because of all the shit she did to people.
I think you're right with saying that she was like a mini Kilgrave, or rather like she was a mini Kilgrave, and this is her slipping apart and her life falling to pieces, and then her trying to get back to that point and fucking up even worse, trying to become that like slimy shark person, lawyer, blah 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 stuff.
See, I thought Carrie Ann Moss's character, like Hogarth, was an awesome character. I just thought I knew where that story was going to go at some point. Like, I knew she was going to take advantage of Kilgrave in some way, or at least try to take advantage of Kilgrave
Right.
in some way to, like, just manipulate the situation. And it finally happened, but it didn't happen till, like, the 11th episode or something, didn't it?
It took a long time.
Yeah.
It didn't backfire until like the 10th, I think.
I think the problem that made everything a bit slower was we just had Kilgrave locked in the tank. I didn't think it was for too long because but I do think that they could have had him maybe having had more contingency plans in place if he didn't get in touch with people, so that there was still this threat that he had outside of his cell, instead of just him being them waiting to find their moment.
See, I think one of the weaknesses is that, I guess not really a weakness, but I think Daredevil was so strong because it had one overarching story arc, but within that there was like a couple different smaller stories that happened. Whereas with Jessica Jones, it was just the same story stretched out between 13 episodes, which I think made it seem a little longer. Like, it's literally every episode. It's just like, how am I going to get Kilgrave? Oh, he's trying to make people kill themselves again. How am I going to get Kilgrave? And I think if they just had another story weaving through there that was strong, like if the divorce story was a little stronger, or if the whole Nuke Simpson story was stronger with like his military people, I think it just needed a little bit of something to make it like be better than Daredevil, whereas right now I think it's just below Daredevil. I think I like Daredevil more. Well, I know I like Daredevil more.
I think for me, I just hated how some situations like it was just too serendipitous. You know, like when they're at the support group and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, man, like her brother's dead, so I dumped his body in the Hudson," and then she's like, "Oh, you did what to my brother?" It's like, where did she come from?
I know. And then all the people who have no
I
idea
hated
who
her.
she is are just like, oh, let's just follow her and ruin everything.
I mean,
Also, she was not nearly as upset as someone who is that obsessed with her brother and then found out he's dead.
But you know what she reminded of? She reminded me of like an extra from like The Crucible, like burn the witch. Like she just seemed like it just seemed with the wild hair and like the total witch hunt she was doing with Jessica Jones. I was like, I think she's in the wrong movie
Yeah, she seemed a little over the top in a weird way.
in the worst way. Like just, I think that's
Their relationship was fucking weird from the start.
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say real quick, back to the Kilgrave and the tank thing. I felt super bad when it was just like, "Mom, Dad, you finally love me," then literally gets stabbed in the back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough. I
But-
mean,
Yeah, the show's so good at making you feel bad for him, and then you're just like, oh nope, never mind. He's a terrible person. Stop feeling bad for him.
I just wish I could feel that for some of the supporting characters. Like to me, it didn't feel like they were supporting characters. They were only just like just cogs in a story, which I know characters are, but it just felt like the McPoyle twins. They were just there to advance this one thing, or like Jessica Jones's friend, their Hellcat. Like she's only there to like fuck up every time she gets a chance to like prove herself. Like it just a lot of this team just seemed too accidental.
She was very Aunt May of this story. Like she was always in trouble in some way to kind of like just add more danger, I thought.
But you know what we can say the one supporting character saving grace is?
Luke Cage?
Luke Cage.
Hell yeah.
Well, I thought
Sweet
Malcolm
Christmas.
was a really good one too.
And Malcolm. But good God.
I really liked Malcolm.
Every
he was
time
a
Luke
really
Cage was
nice
on
guy.
screen, I was just like, this dude.
Oh shit!
This dude
Espe-
knows what's up.
Especially towards the end when so you get through the whole reveal that Kilgrave had like control of him for like the entire final series of events with him. And then you get to watch just how like effortlessly he fights, and it was just so perfect. And it was so just watching him like lift. I think he lifted a fridge at some point, and it just kind of like went. And it was such a perfect embodiment of like super strength, and I loved every second of it.
The scene
Well,
where
you know-
he like reverse aliens her and like pulls her into the hole instead of. I thought that was awesome.
Well, I also like too that kind of confrontation with Kilgrave at the club with all the purple lights. It very felt like, oh, she's in his purple lair. Like I thought that was kind of. It was a nice subtle nod to comic books without feeling overly comic booky.
Also,
Sorry.
some of the shit in this show is straight up gruesome. Like Daredevil had its moments. There's probably like 2 or 3 parts in that show where I was just like, holy shit. But the scene when she's following that guy through the park and he's just like, oh, I'm going to put these shears in my mouth and fall forward. I was just like, oh my God.
Or what about the scene where Carrie Ann Moss, she just gets like little nicks, just
Oh,
like the
God.
con. That was rough.
And this show was also incredibly gruesome in what it didn't show you. Like when you get back to the apartment after Kilgrave has kind of received his final power up, and like Jessica gets there, and there's the guy trying to shove Kilgrave's dad's arm down the disposal.
Oh, that
Because he
reminded
was
me of
told to wipe
Fargo.
him off the face of the earth, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
like, and so you didn't have to see the act of the guy of them cutting off his arms, but then you just like know that it happened.
Also, you
And
see
that-
like the drain cleaner with a needle next to that other guy, and I'm just like, God, Jesus.
And and there's so much implied violence that like it makes it worse, and they can get away with it, of course, because it's implied violence instead of the actually showing it to you. But it was, I mean, it's terrible. This show has so many terrible things happen to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Poor Hope Schlottman. She never had a chance.
Oh, yeah. That was
Yeah,
sad.
fuck from the start.
Seriously.
I mean, teaches her for like having a symbolic name. This is my hope. It's all I have to
Yeah.
believe in right now.
But like that whole scene at the bar.
I was hoping for like, oh, this is my Schlottman. This is- all my hopes lie in my Schlottman.
That sounds like a weird sex thing.
It's not a weird sex thing.
Hey guys, you want to get
It's
dirty
gonna-
with the Schlottman later?
Oh, it's gonna be now,
Just ask Kilgrave. He probably pulled some of those on some people.
probably.
And now I'm sad.
The
But like,
sloppy
oh
Schlottman.
God, he's such a good villain. He's such a
Yeah.
shitbag. He's
Well, you
like
know-
just pure bad. Like he's literally just like rape embodied in a person. Like
But I love when he bought her house and tried to redecorate it to fit her like childhood upbringing, and then that whole bit with the neighbor.
It's not
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's not that
I
he
love that.
he tried to make it her childhood home. He did. He like went and found all the old pictures from wherever they were in storage, and he literally put her childhood home back together, and that is creepy as fuck.
yeah, like when he was still like he basically stayed in love with her the whole time. But when he was like really trying, he's just like, "Come on, just love me too," and he just seems so desperate in such a sick way.
And like he even had the scene where he goes like, I don't even know what I'm doing it half the time. You know how selective I have to be with my words all of the time? And it just made me think back immediately to where he was just like, say hi, Hank. And he just goes, hi, Hank. Like, "Ugh. Oh, sorry, I mess up sometimes.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about though? I think because we only talked about the first 6 episodes.
I was.
We didn't talk about the episode 7 thing.
So
yes, I was just going
to bring up that scene because I think that scene is incredible, and I didn't notice what you guys were bugged about. But the scene at the police station where she comes out and everybody has their guns pointed at each other, and it's just really eerily silent. And then you know instantly that Kilgrave's there, and he just walks out, and there's that really cool confrontation. And
except for the background character who was just constantly looking at the goddamn camera.
It was so annoying. If I was a director, I'd be like, dude, don't move. I didn't tell you to move. Kilgrave didn't tell you to move. So what are you doing?
You can twitch a little bit, but like, don't continuously look at the camera.
I know no one can see this, but this is for the benefit of my crew. Like, this is the guy who's like.
See, I didn't notice that at all.
So I didn't notice it to begin with, but now I'm actually remembering what it is you guys are talking about. And I think I noticed it, but then wrote it off that the camera was supposed to be
a person?
Jessica.
Yeah.
And that they kept like looking over because everyone kind of kept looking at her. But I guess he was the most obvious about like looking directly into the lens. But I just assumed that they were like, oh shit, she's coming. And I thought they were maybe like still more conscious of what was going on than anything else. So I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of eye movement, but no head movement besides that one dick.
Well, he was facing the other way.
Yeah.
He's Distraction Man. That's like the little known Marvel Easter egg that was in Jessica Jones. You know, one scene I loved is when Jessica Jones confronts Kilgrave at the end, and when she convinces him that he's back under his power, like the look, the happiness and like relief. It's just, it was so well acted. I love when he tells her to smile for me, and her smiles just seem so genuine, but she's just pulling his purple leg the whole time. It was very well done.
She looked super, super pretty when she was smiling like that too.
Because it's like the first time you ever see her smile in the whole show.
Well, there's that scene where she's talking to the guy about playing with his bald-headed bishop. there's that like half smile. But yeah, she looked super pretty when she actually smiled.
She was great in the show. Like, she nailed it.
Kristen Ritter was great. And so I was just thinking about that final scene again and thinking about how Kilgrave treated Hellcat, Patsy, whatever her name is. Trish. Patsy. It's Patsy. What he like did to her and what he said he was gonna do to her to like try to invoke the emotion from Jessica. Fuck, I wouldn't have made it if I was her. I would have tried like punching him in the face like, I don't know, halfway through his first sentence.
Yeah, and he's like, and according to you, I'll just be raping her all this time. And I was just like, God damn it, man.
Yeah. Can we also just discuss how awesome it was that Nuke was in this show?
Mm-hmm. I literally texted all you guys. I was like, holy crap, is Simpson Nuke? And then the next episode, he had like, he got the pills, and I was like, oh shit, it's Nuke.
No, I loved when they were like, okay, here are the white pills, the blue pills, and the red pills. And I was like, nah, fucking, no
America.
way.
Yeah.
And then when the scene where he kills the police officer, when he pulls his lighter out and there's the American flag on it that looks just like the face tattoo.
Well, you know, it kind of makes me optimistic because, you know, Nuke was in Born Again, probably one of the greatest Daredevil comics.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, how great to see Nuke appear in a Netflix Daredevil show. And, you know, and how cool to be. And I know this is fanboying, but like having like Chris Evans as Cap in that Daredevil
That would be
with Nuke
incredible, but I can't see that ever happening.
It won't, but I can dream.
And we got our first big crossover with the Netflix series with Rosario Dawson's fake night nurse coming
That
in
was awesome.
to help out here.
Sexy nurse time.
I got
Stabbing needles through eyes.
I got so happy when I saw her in the background of the hospital, and I was just like, oh my god, it's her.
Yeah.
And I thought that's
But
all
then
we
she
were gonna
spoke?
get.
Yeah.
I thought that she was just going to be like in the background in that one shot, and it's like, oh hey, we're in the same place. But then no, she's like along for the ride for an entire episode.
Yep.
No, she was great. And I saw they released photos from the set of Luke Cage, and she is definitely going to be in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is I looked at the like here are the Easter eggs that you might not have noticed in Jessica Jones, which there is fucking like
None.
basically zero. There's like the goldfish boat stood for something for some writer or whatever. I don't really give a shit.
The
But
creator
there's
Brian Michael Bendis, his one of his first graphic novels was called Goldfish. So that was a nice little nod to the writer.
I had no idea. But
Okay, well, I'm just helping you understand the importance of goldfish.
I appreciate it. But the point I wanted to bring up was the fact that Stan Lee's photo was in the background again. And that gives me the thought that it's either the same or similar police station.
I think
That
it's
was
supposed
in
to be the
Daredevil?
same one.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
See, what I was hoping for a lot was every time they were near a courtroom, near a police station, near something, I just wanted to see Matt Murdock and Foggy like walk out talking to each other
I
and be like,
know.
"Oh, excuse me," like he bumps into her or something.
I wanted
Well,
to
it's so-
see them at the bar.
I did too. You know what's funny, is Daredevil so obviously lawsuit heavy, and in a lot of ways so is Jessica Jones. I'm just surprised, Nelson and Murdoch, it turns a lot didn't come up at least in like. Even if say like Jessica Jones, take her case, Carrie Ann Moss would be like, who am I, like fucking Matt Murdock, something. I was
I think
waiting
that would
for-
lend too much credibility to their law firm. Because what we
so-
saw at the end of Daredevil, like they're still just scrappy little lawyers. They're not Hogarth level yet.
Yeah, but I thought it would be funny if the receptionist walked in and was like, I have a Murdoch and Nelson for you, and then like Hogarth just brushes him off or something like that. I
Yeah.
think that might have been nice.
So what I was actually hoping for, besides the bar scene, would be Hogarth just being like, I've got these defense attorneys that are up my ass. I don't know how they do it. They call out every lie perfectly. Like all this stuff that would just describe Murdoch.
There's so many spots to put it in, but I guess I understand why they didn't, because they didn't want to
Right.
pull the focus away from Jessica Jones and have it like the Daredevil show. But
Well, no, I wouldn't want to be at the Daredevil show, but if she can reference the flag waver and like the big green guy and his crew,
Also,
I mean,
a
but-
little kid dressed up like Captain America running in like the park or whatever.
yeah, before he sees an Asian man get impaled to the back of the face with a gardening shears.
yeah,
No, that was a
But-
different scene. Little kid was when they were trying to find the
Oh yeah,
person.
early on, I forgot.
Yeah.
But I can understand. I can also understand why you would want to really try to link it to the Avengers versus Daredevil, because it almost kind of seems hard to believe, in to a certain extent, that Jessica Jones is happening in the same universe as Avengers.
Yeah.
There was the crazy chick too that was just like, Jessica Jones, I don't like you. You people are freaks. There's 99 of us. If I ever see you again, you're dead.
See, I kind of liked that little side story because it was like a subplot and it was kind of self-contained. And I thought if the show maybe had a little bit more of something like that to kind of fill out the 13 episodes, I don't know. There's just something with the last few episodes. They were good, and I really like how it all resolved. And looking back on it, I think it's a great show, but it just seemed long.
Here's how I look at it. That last episode was great. The 3 episodes before that were like, why? Like, it was filler. A lot of it was
So-
just filler.
Kinda.
I think that episode. So what? There was 13 episodes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think episodes 11 through 13 were good, because 11 is like when they bring in his parents. So I really like them bringing in his parents. I thought that was. I mean, we all knew it was going to end terribly for them, but
Why were his
But-
parents in a motel like down the street?
Because they were following him. They were still trying to find a way to stop it.
I love the when
Yeah,
when
they're
Jessica
trying to
Jones-
learn about him.
I love when Jessica Jones figures out who she is, and she's like, "Oh, gotta go, bye."
Yeah. And she noticed it because of a photo that got stepped on.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good
Yeah,
PI
'cause-
man.
Well, yeah, because like the mud imprint was where she had like a scars.
The burn
And she-
marks or whatever.
Yeah, and she put 2 and 2 together.
Well,
a good
even
detective
earlier on
does.
in the first like group meeting thing, whatever, they faded out with like focusing on her for some reason. So they foreshadowed her. I was just like, well, what does she have to do with anything? Just because she just another Kilgrave victim?
Yes, basically, that's all she ends up being. When he's just like, stab yourself a billion times.
I thought it was funny that Papa Chan woke up like just in time to tell Jessica like he's stronger.
Oh yeah. It's Kilgrave's world. We're just living in it. Oh, I did like the scene outside of the club where like Kilgrave makes that kid stand in front of the fence like forever.
Oh, and then it shows him again
Yeah.
later on. I thought that was really good,
And he
Yeah,
just like
that was
is
cool.
covered in piss, just
Yeah.
shaking.
showing how his like powers have
Yeah.
gotten stronger.
Yeah, that was pretty rad.
Also, can we just talk about Luke Cage's skin? Not that it's like indestructible, but that dude's got some great skin. Like there's like no pores on that guy's body. It was ridiculous.
He has some stretch marks from working out really quickly.
Yeah, whatever. Dude's got to get
But
ripped.
that's about it. That's about it.
So
There's that
I just,
scene where he's in his towel, like legit.
Yep.
They're just like, look at this dude's body for like 5 minutes.
I just found out that that's the same guy who played Will Smith's dad in Men in Black 3.
Really?
That's the
I never
same
saw that.
actor.
Holy shit! That dude gained some weight.
He so Jay, I'll have to send you a couple of pictures. But so he's a stick. He's like a stick compared to what he is now when he was in Men in Black 3. You can't even recognize him.
He was I know he's from some show like The Good Wife, or was he in The Good Wife? He's in one of those like NBC shows or something, or he was. I never seen him in anything other than this though. So to me, he's just Luke Cage now.
Pretty much. He's just Luke Cage forever.
Yep.
If he's in any other role and he doesn't say "Sweet Christmas" once, I'll be upset.
But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm so happy that this show is good. And I'm
Yeah.
excited for everything else to come. I'm so excited for Daredevil season 2. Like
Yeah, same.
Punisher, just the fact that Daredevil season 1 was awesome. I'm real excited.
I like still feel bad partly for fucking Kilgrave all the time.
Dude, he is a horrible, horrible.
Lee,
Murderer,
connectable,
you
funny
racist.
character.
It's just because David Tennant's got a goofy British accent.
Yeah.
But like, I think he's a great like evil character, like more so than most other villains, like as in like pure evil, like doing horribly evil things. Whereas like Wilson Fisk is like a evil person, but in the show you never see him like just kill a bunch of innocent people. He like kills other bad guys. And then when he gets away at the end, you're like, yeah, I want more of this guy. But like at the end, I was just like, kill him. That dude's, you got to kill that guy. He's dangerous.
I would have liked it if they had just caught him in, like, he was put in a super jail sort of thing, like Cube or some shit like that. And, like, I don't know.
Just throw him in Arkham.
I
He was
just-
very, very Batman villainish.
Damn, he was skinny as fuck.
Mike Coulter in Men in Black 3.
I'm not even looking at Men in Black 3, just in general in the past. No one would fuck this dude.
I don't know, man. His skin, though.
He has really nice skin.
He's got such
He-
nice
he
skin.
does
There's
have really
like
nice
no pores. It looks like he has like whatever face makeup conceal. I don't know.
He
I'm
can
not a
rock
girl.
that goatee, no problem, though, even when he's skinny, though.
So, just because I have to get this out there, because we're talking about Wilson Fisk, I know that there's been some news coming out lately that people are saying that getting the Defenders into Infinity Wars would be tough because it's complicated. Apparently it's just as hard to go from Marvel TV to Marvel movies as it is to go from like Fox to Marvel. But I really desperately want Spider-Man to interact with Kingpin because oh my God, the jokes that Spider-Man whips out when he's like really pissed at Kingpin, they're the funniest shit ever. I think my favorite one from, I think it was an Ultimate Spider-Man comic, was like Peter Parker shows up with a list of prepared jokes. And one of them is like, I bet that you're so fat, or you're so fat that when you cut yourself shaving, marshmallow fluff comes out. And that's just the funniest shit to me.
Well, like, what I would love for Spider-Man is if they have some grunt villains that, like, think about the Rhino. If they did Rhino right and just had be some fucking huge jack dude, whatever, that's answering to Wilson Fisk, or like the Shocker or anything like that, that would be fucking awesome.
I hope they do that because I understand like contractually it's weird because it's like different unions and it's all just different shit, but they can make it happen. And
I'm sure they could.
I think because Kingpin is a villain that's never been seen in a Spider-Man movie.
Only Daredevil.
Yeah, and he's just as big a villain in Spider-Man for the most part. I mean, I feel like at some point Daredevil kind of became more primarily associated with him, but like Kingpin and Spider-Man go back.
I mean, growing up watching the cartoon, he was like the main villain, him and Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I was bummed that Ben Urich died in Daredevil, because I really wanted to see that Ben Urich interact with, the new Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
Did a
Damn,
prequel,
that was
would
a
be
good
cool,
Ben
but,
Urich.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I need to rewatch Daredevil.
And that's a good. That's
I
a
rewatched
good,
that too.
One thing I wanted to bring up is why is the Marvel Netflix killing all the old black guys? They kill like Ben Urich, and then they killed that cop. And you know how I knew he was gonna die? He's like, "Oh man, I'm 2 years from retirement." I'm like, that's a case of death in stories.
Yeah, man.
You don't talk about
2 days away from retirement, 2 episodes away.
At least he didn't get Kilgrave to death.
Yeah,
the only
he
thing
got
he was like
nuked
told
to
to
death.
do.
Yeah, he didn't get duped. He got shot in the face and burned.
Well, he was dead way before he got burned.
He still
So
got
at least he
burned.
didn't like tortured death.
I mean, dude still got shot in the face.
I thought, thinking of that, back to the scene where he did get Kilgrave for like a second or whatever. When Kilgrave just told Trish to put a bullet in her head.
And she was trying to shove it into their hands.
Yeah, and then like freaking out trying to put it in the barrel. But Jessica was just like, no, just open your mouth. Shut up and open your mouth. There's a bullet in your head. You did what he said.
Yeah.
I also...
They did a good job on that.
Yeah, it's a good show. I'm sure everybody who's listening to this has seen it because we're spoiling the shit out of it. And if you haven't, then we
They
just have
stopped listening
ruined.
a long time ago.
We told what happened in a much worse way.
Yeah, we just nuked your expectations of the ending of this series.
You nuked the expectations. Give me a red one.
Oh man,
That was great.
You need the blue ones to calm down, or else your brain won't tell your lungs to breathe.
Because science.
yes,
Yeah.
because of Eastern European scientists.
Then
Yeah.
just like some random shot that the EMT gives her is what saves her life.
Well, he made sure to find out that it was a stimulant.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he could have. I'm no EMT. It's probably like morphine or some downer.
No idea.
Heroin.
Just gave her
It's
Tylenol.
just heroin.
It's a lot easier to get on the streets than morphine.
But speaking of heroin, I think we can all end this by saying Malcolm is the real hero of this story. He's the true moral compass of everybody involved. He just wants to help
with
people.
that, but I don't know if he's the actual hero. he sticks around, but he needs a lot of encouragement.
It's true. He almost left.
I thought it was funny how
Yeah.
like the way that they give him up in every scene is just like him taking off his hood and just his hair just foofing out.
Oh man. So what are we reading this week?
I read the 4th or 5th trade of Saga at work today,
Cool.
and that just continues to be awesome. I think little baby Hazel is like on par with Boo from Monsters Inc. as like the most adorable fictional character ever. Except
Boo is so cute.
I know, but Hazel, that girl's adorable. And since it's a Brian K. Vaughan comic, she says really fucked up shit sometimes, and it's hilarious.
I only read the first one of Saga, though I own the first 3.
You should catch up.
I should.
They're quick reads. Once you start reading, it's so bizarre. Like the world building, they literally just build new worlds every issue. Like there's like one issue where they go to some weird planet with like salamander dragons, and they're trying to get like semen out of one to heal one, and then they're fighting, and then they're like, quick, turn your translator on, try to talk to them. And they're like, whoa, calm down. And they start talking to these dragons, and they're like, yo, we're all ladies. We don't want to be mean. It's just
That's such a
the
great
dumbest, goofiest. It's so good. And then,
But it works.
yeah, there's such like heart to it. Like all the like stuff about the parenting and stuff. I don't know. It's so good.
No, Saga's fantastic. It's definitely one of the best comics out there right now.
Yeah,
Hands down.
absolutely. And then I read something else. Someone else talk. I'll try to look next to me and see if I can remember.
So I had a pretty good week last week. I read I did the bunch of the new Marvel books. Uncanny Inhumans was pretty good. It brought Crystal back, who I haven't seen since she was in the Fantastic Four, like back in the 80s or 90s. So it's kind of exciting to see her. Daredevil #1 came out, and apparently Matt Murdock is in ADA now. So I kind of like that he's actually working to put criminals away in both sides of his life now. And the art's great, and I actually really dig the new suit, like the black suit with the red lettering again, or not again, but they kind of inversed it from what it was. I really like it. It looks great in the comic, but maybe not so much in the promo art they did. And then I read All New X-Men #1, which I'm sticking with. We still got the Young Mutants from the past hanging out post Secret Wars, I guess. And I think it's really cool what they're doing with young Scott Summers and really like putting him through the paces for what old Scott did. So I thought it was really cool.
Cool.
I just remembered what I wanted to talk about. Tokyo Ghost is real good still, and it's real pretty. Like that's a pretty comic book. I think I talked about the first issue when it came out, but I think it's the third one is the last one I read. And they're in Tokyo now, and it's like all overgrown, and there's no technology there, and it's sweet. And some weird shit's happening.
And that's
so
the
people
Sean.
should read it.
That's the Sean Murphy art, right?
It's Sean Murphy art, and Rick Remender writes it, and it's a good ass comic.
That's a pretty good team to have together.
Yeah, it's real good.
Very cool. Jay, what are you tackling this week?
I've caught up on Food Wars. Volume 9 came out like 2 weeks ago, I think, something like that. And it's starting to get pretty interesting, especially with the stuff that happens after the animated series. And I watched Krampus. That was pretty fun.
I'm
how
going to
was
see
it?
Krampus later this week.
It's a pretty fun movie. Just be aware that shitty teenage girls are going to be probably in the theater with you. Because it's not scary to me. Because I also laugh at horror movies, I guess, because I'm weird. But they did a great job with most of the special effects and everything like that. And I thought it was funny because I didn't like go into the movie thinking like, oh, I'm going to get spooked. I thought it was more of a comedy.
I'm pretty sure they're definitely playing it as like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
I'm going to
like-
see Creed tomorrow. I'm pumped about that.
I need to see that.
So good.
I'm a sucker for Rocky movies, and it's just any motivational sports movie in general.
Same.
They get me every time.
But I remember leaving the theater and just going like, oh, it was a good movie. I thought it was funny. And then just hearing some teenage girls just going like, oh my God, like, don't even try and pretend like you didn't have your face behind your hands the whole time. I was like, God damn, I've never wanted to punch a little kid before.
Did she say that to you?
No,
Oh.
I don't speak to anything under 16 years old.
That's smart.
Well, I guess unless it's like 4 years old. because it's a little. Did you hear my text noise?
Yes.
The timing was perfect on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Only cartoons.
I gotta thank Will for donating his Comixology account to me because while I have found work, it doesn't start for a while. So thank you, Will, for your generous contribution to my situation. So I've taken the opportunity to finally get caught up on Batman, which I always talk about. So Batman's great. Bloom is creepy as hell. I can't wait for tomorrow's new issue. I read New Avengers, the Mark Waid. Is it Adam Kubert or Andy Kubert? I think it's Andy Kubert who's doing the art. It's not bad.
Andy's doing
It's,
Batman, so is Adam doing this one, or is he doing both?
It's one of the Kuberts.
Stupid. They both have an A for the first letter. Like
I
they're not
know.
helping at all.
Jerks. But
The more popular one doesn't have to use it.
Joe.
I liked it. It actually kind of made me like Falcon as Cap a little more because I mean I like the whole exchange that like on the bridge where like was it they're like the Girl Scout cookies and they're like, oh, like buy a cookie and he only has enough for one. And like it is like a white girl and a black girl. Like everyone has their cell phones out and everyone's like just biting, like to see like, oh, like which girl is he gonna choose? And I know some thought I know like some thought that was like kind of annoying, but I feel like that's so true. It's so true. If we had like superheroes now, like they'd be like, oh, well, of course you go to the little black girl because he's black and blah blah. And even Falcon says like, I'm really tired, everything I do being under like the ethnic like telescope. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, and Captain America should reflect the political times. So I thought that was really well done. And I also came across a really sweet edition of The Hobbit, illustrated by Alan Lee. Alan Lee's artwork is fantastic. It's primarily watercolor, and he was actually hired by Peter Jackson based on his artwork to be a contributing art designer for the Lord of the Rings films. So it's kind of cool seeing stuff that was in the movie, in the books. It's kind of cool to reread The Hobbit with those illustrations there. They are fantastic.
The images of The Hobbit that will always be in my mind was like the 1980s animated movie. That's forever how I'm going to imagine The Hobbit.
Where Gollum's a frog.
Yeah. And the Goblin Town song is infinitely better than it was in the new versions.
Oh yeah.
And it was creepy. And it fitted all into like 80 minutes. Somehow it did it. It took Peter Jackson like 3 movies.
Didn't Peter Jackson say recently he's like, fuck it, I just wasn't even trying.
Yeah, in the commentary for the Battle of Five Armies, he said that he was flying by the seat of his pants, which I believe 100% because a lot of that, like, okay, so I thought the first Hobbit movie was really good. 2 and 3, man, I don't know what was going on. He added in so much stuff that didn't need to be there.
So he didn't want to do the movies in the first place. That's why they tried to get Guillermo del Toro to do it, but Guillermo del Toro he just has the shittiest luck for getting projects to completion. And he's so busy. I think that he bailed out to do, what's his movie that just came out? Crimson Manor?
Crimson Peak?
Oh, Crimson Peak. Yeah.
So I think he bailed out on The Hobbit to do Crimson Peak, which I would have rather have seen him do The Hobbit, but I think he had a personal attachment to Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak was great, by the way. I like that movie a lot.
I just wanted his Hobbit. I think it would have been amazing in the way that it looked.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I really kind of dug that Peter Jackson added to the movie was in the book, Gandalf leaves the company because he has to handle the necromancer in the Dark Tower, and then that's it. Tolkien doesn't write about what he does. So the fact that they filmed that, I thought was kind of cool, and it tied in well with Sauron. Everything else with like the love story between the dwarf and the elf and Legolas and the fact that they try to like make Orlando Bloom look younger. He looked like I kept thinking I was watching Unlock scene from like a PS3 game. Like it just looked so blatantly like computer generated.
It was bad.
But anyway, enough about us. If you ever get the chance, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Anything that says Chrono Speak Easy, just give us a like. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, go to Google and type in Chronos, that is Kronos, Speakeasy, which is speakeasy, like a speakeasy.
It's super easy.
Kronos, like the guy from God of War / Ancient Myth / our website. Yeah, and there's little links up top to all the things you just mentioned. So you should follow us and let us know what you think.
We write cool articles.
Hmm.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Some have gifts. Kids like those, right?
Uh-huh.
Mine had music.
Kids don't like music unless it's animated.
It kind of was.
But yeah, that's that.
Please like.
Enjoy your issues, everyone. We'll be back next week.